If you're a C# or .NET developer looking to get started with GitHub Copilot, you're in the right place. I'm Katie Savage, a product manager at Microsoft, and today I'm going to be showing you how to incorporate Copilot in your C# development. If you're completely new to Copilot, I recommend checking out our Getting Started with GitHub Copilot video. Otherwise, today I'm going to be taking you through two demos. In the first one, we're going to be using Copilot to help us write LINQ query expressions. And in the second, we're going to be jumping into a Blazor project. Let's get started. For this demo, we're going to use Copilot to help us write some LINQ query expressions using C# in Visual Studio Code. In this project, I have an in-memory data source, which is a simple list of student objects. Each student has a first name, a last name, an ID, and an array of their integer test scores. We'll query the data, execute our queries, and modify them, all using Copilot as our assistant. The first thing I want to show you how to do is generate data with Copilot. I'm going to go ahead and go into this data source, and I'm going to try to add another student object with the help of Copilot. So I'm starting on line 15. I'm going to add in a comma, and then I'm going to add my new student on line 16. It looks like Copilot is already giving us a suggestion in gray on line 16, but this student, Sven, is already in our data set. So I'm going to go ahead and create a comment and tell Copilot what I'm looking for. Once I hit enter, Copilot's going to give me a suggestion in this light gray color. As you can see, it's given me the following John Doe suggestion, which does seem to have unique values for its ID, its scores, first name, and last name. I'm going to accept this suggestion by clicking Tab. And the cool thing about this is the format of this actually follows along from all of the other student objects. And the ID is chronologically in order, which is pretty cool. Next, I'm going to show you how you can use Copilot to query this data. So what I want to do is produce a list of students whose score on the first test was greater than 90. I'm going to go ahead and start on line 20. I'm going to create a comment once again and tell Copilot what I'm trying to do. As you can see, Copilot has given me the following suggestion. If I were to hover over this suggestion, you can actually see that I can accept the whole thing with Tab, or I can accept it word by word using Control and right arrow. And if there are more options here or other suggestions, I could toggle through those using these arrows. But this suggestion is pretty close to what I'm looking for, so I'm actually going to accept the whole thing by clicking Tab. Next up, I'm going to show you how we can execute this query. Once again, I'm going to use Copilot to create a comment and tell it to execute the query to print out the student's first name and last name. I'm going in on line 26. And Copilot's given me the following suggestion. This is pretty close to what I'm looking for, but it's not exactly the format I was hoping to use. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use Control right arrow to accept parts of this suggestion, but not the entire thing. And then I'm going to take back Control and start to fill in what I'm looking for. Copilot is giving me more suggestions, but I'm going to go ahead and start writing until it looks a little bit more like what I'm looking for. And as you can see, now Copilot has given me the suggestion that I want to use. So I'm going to click Tab to accept this. And let me show you how this looks when we execute this code. I'm going to open up the terminal and I'm going to run this. We do have a warning here, but for the purposes of this demo, I'm actually going to ignore that. And as you can see, we were able to print out our students' last names followed by their first names for all the students with scores above 90 on that first test. Next up, I want to show you how we can modify this query to make the results easier to scan and understand. I want to order the results from highest to lowest score on that first test. And then when we print out all of that information, I want to be able to see the student's name and that score from highest to lowest. I'm going to go into line 24 and tell Copilot to help me with this request. As you can see, Copilot was able to help and gave me the suggestion I'm looking for. So I'm going to accept this. And now I want to ensure that we're printing this out in the way that I want. So I'm going to go ahead to the right line format on line 31 and change this up. I'm going to delete what we have there right now, and I'm going to tell Copilot that I want to print out the student's name and their first test score. Once again, this isn't the exact format I'm looking for, so I'm going to accept this word by word, and then I'm going to change some parts. And Copilot's already given me the suggestion that I'm looking for, so I'm going to accept this with tab, and it looks like it added some parts that I'm not looking for. I'm going to remove those and then hit tab. Now let's see what this looks like when we run it. Awesome. As you can see here, Copilot put it in the order I was looking for, from highest to lowest score. This is a cool example of how you can use Copilot in your C# code to query data with LINQ. In this demo, I'll show you how you can use Copilot within a Blazor project. Copilot will be helping us navigate a few different contexts here and pulling together C# code, CSS, HTML, and even integrating some Bootstrap elements. We'll be working with this Blazor resume website, which originally comes from the .NET Conf Student Zone repository. So let's take a look. On the right pane here, you can see our resume website, and we are on the resume page. There's 3 primary sections here. There's an About Me, an Experiences, and an Education section, which all map over to our resume.razor file here. So you can see each of these sections in this file. I'm going to show you how to use Copilot to add a skills component to this page. So I want to be able to display my skills so that people can take a look at my resume and know my competencies. So I'm going to go ahead on line 36 and use a comment to prompt GitHub Copilot to help me with this task. And here's the suggestion. The cool thing about this is the way that Copilot's able to integrate and utilize these different contexts, helping us pull together C# here along with our Razor markup. So I'm going to take in this suggestion, and I've noticed that Copilot doesn't always add the closing div in my Razor files, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now you can see the skills section on my resume page of my site. So the other thing I'm noticing is Copilot is actually including this comment on that page, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. But the even bigger thing I'm noticing is that my skills are not being displayed. I do see the header, which is great, but where are my skills? I have all my skill information already set up in the resume.json. Here are those skills. The next thing I'm going to show is how to add HTML markup into our component file. And this is going to allow us to see those skills. On line 3, I'm going to use Copilot to help me display this skilling data. And Copilot's given me this suggestion, which I'm going to accept. And I'm going to add that closing div right here. And now you can see that these skills are being displayed. We still have the comment there, which I will remove. But before I do that, I actually want to customize this a bit further. I want to make this look a little bit better, and I want to show you how you can integrate Bootstrap elements into your code with the help of Copilot. So I'm actually going to delete lines 3 through 8, and I'm going to reprompt Copilot with something a little bit more specific. And Copilot has given me the following suggestion. I'm going to go ahead and accept this and add that div. Now it's looking a little bit different. So our skills are being displayed here in Bootstrap cards, but it's pretty hard to read. The font here is white and the cards are white as well. So let's do one more step and customize this a bit further using the help of our Copilot. So once again on line 3, I'm going to ask for Copilot's help using a comment. And this time I'm going to be as specific as possible. So here I asked Copilot to make the cards have a blue background and white text. And it already looks like Copilot is doing that. So I'm excited to see what this result looks like. Awesome. Copilot has helped me a bunch with this, and it all is looking pretty close to where I want it to be. The one thing is I do want to help Copilot out by customizing this further. And I'm just going to remove text muted here, save that. And finally, I'm going to delete the comment. And there you have it. We've used Copilot within our Blazor project to help us customize this page a little bit further and display all of our skills data. We've now seen some ways that GitHub Copilot can help us with our C# and .NET development. But keep in mind that GitHub Copilot is just that, a copilot. It's here to make your life as a developer easier and more efficient. But it's not always perfect. If you found some value in this video, please like and subscribe. And also check out the other videos in this series to learn more about how to integrate GitHub Copilot into your development experience.